nation. In the latest, Chandrababu Naidu has ordered an inquiry by the Crime Investigation Department or CID into the irregularities in the excise policy during the YSRCP dispensation. He calls it one of the biggest scams to have unfolded in Andhra Pradesh. Naidu released a white paper on it in the Legislative Assembly. He said, and I am quoting Naidu here, he said, "It shall be thoroughly probed by the CID. The state government will also refer the irregularities in cash transactions to the Enforcement Directorate. There will be no political vendetta, but the government will take strict action on all those involved in the scam." Now, in the allegations made in the white paper of the 99,413 crore worth retail sales in the last 5 years, digital payments were apparently made only for sales costing 650 crores. Overall, this liquor scam, said Babu, cost the state exchequer a loss of more than 18,860 crores between 2019 and 24. That is the Jagan Mohan tenure in Andhra Pradesh. What is more, there are also allegations that because of these regularities, the poor had to perforce turn to illegal hooch, leading to increase in crimes and, of course, very unfortunate deaths by suicides. Let's understand what is this liquor scam all about, because let's not forget, liquor scams have been, of course, the kernel of corruption in many South Indian states. We recently saw in the neighboring Tamil Nadu the hooch tragedy in Kurichi, and of course, there is a huge controversy about how the government is hand in glove with those who sell hooch or rather liquor through TASMAC. But we are focusing on Andhra Pradesh. Deepak Reddy, national spokesperson for the TDP, is joining us on the broadcast. Welcome, Deepak Reddy. Good to have you on the show. Before we get into this, I'm asking you one question. We've seen Jagan Mohan Reddy in the national capital for the past 2 days, and he's been supported by leaders of the Indie bloc as well. And he has spoken about vendetta politics. He said, "I have been in power, but I have never unleashed such vendetta politics." I'm very intrigued by why Babu said vendetta politics here. You want to open it with that, and then we shall take all the points that I have highlighted in my document.
You know, I was one of the first in Andhra who actually coined a word by the name political terrorism. That is what Jagan Mohan Reddy has actually brought to Andhra Pradesh during his tenure. Today, the Honorable CM has, in the floor of the House, was talking about the cases, how many cases he's put during his CM-ship on each leader. And the number one on that list is my own father-in-law, who had more than 100 cases booked on him. So almost all senior leaders of Andhra Pradesh, Telugu Desam Party, today's ruling government, have a minimum of 4 to running up to 100 cases booked. And the kind of a torture they were put was unbelievable. And today, Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy is doing that melodrama in Delhi. It is really shameful.
All right. You've clarified on that, and I see that you have been totally, upfront about it without mincing words. Let's take it point by point. According to Chandrababu Naidu, he said that, they spoke about it in their manifestos as well, in the promises that they made as well. But out of the 4,380 shops, Deepak Reddy, that were existing, at that time, they were brought down to only 2,934 shops, and he said it's an eyewash. Explain this for us, because in that is a story hidden about a nexus, Deepak Reddy.
I think I need a minute extra, because this is such a complicated operation for the people of India to understand. If Jagan Mohan Reddy's liquor scam is a PhD, then the Delhi liquor scam done by KCR is like a kindergarten play. So that's like peanuts. So what happened is, the minute the government came in, the previous Jagan Mohan Reddy government came in, they called all the old manufacturers and started extorting huge amounts. And though they could not afford to pay that kind of a money. So then he stopped paying them. He threw them all out, snatched all the distilleries and breweries under their control, and then threw all the guys who were having liquor shops and got them under government control. So they were manufacturing, they were distributing, and the sales were also being done by them. And everything in cash. So you don't know how much came in, you don't know how much actually went out. no matter how much we were shouting that it has to be transparent and UPA has to be used, they did not use.
Yeah,
So
that's what I want to
Chandrababu
ask you. Apparently, those who demanded bills, they were apparently thrown into jail. Is that correct, Deepak Reddy?
In fact, there were a couple of leaders from his own party also. You can't say anything because the nature of the former CM was psychopathic and he used to scare people, put false cases. So they had to bear that loss and they ran away. All of them ran away saying that they can't do. And what was worse was whatever distilleries and breweries were there in the state of Andhra Pradesh, they were actually snatched by Jagan Mohan Reddy's coterie and they started operating them. And these shops, Chandrababu Naidu ji is being very conservative because being a CM, he has to talk. I'm representing Telugu Desam Party and our figures show that over 60,000 crores to 1 lakh crores is the kind of a scam what these people have done. One small example, for one case of liquor which is being sold, it is say the government buys it, the cost of manufacturing is between 12 to 18 rupees. But it is sold anywhere from 120 to 400. So it's about 10 to 12 times the price. The reason they were selling in cash was, even if 20% or 30% of the product is sold in cash without tax being paid, so you are literally making 10 to 12 times that amount.
Right.
So if you quantify all this, that's where those big figures are coming.
All right. Let me also bring to your notice that wasn't there a case against Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, an FIR was lodged, you know, for some kind of malpractices toward licensees between 2014 and 2019? Am I correct? Because I remember that.
Yeah, to correct that, the same, it was for some liquor bar permissions. And the same Jagan Mohan Reddy government which came in has actually increased those and continued them for some time. So,
all right.
So yeah, that was baseless.
Okay.
And in fact, we have actually sent these liquor bottles for testing.
Okay.
A former MP and some of our leaders have sent for testing.
Yeah.
And they came out to have poisonous content, which was unfit for consumption.
All right.
And today, if you go into the health details, and which we are now going in, I mean, I think we estimate more than 30,000 deaths and more than 2 lakh people who are affected by the bad quality what they have given also.
Yeah. Deepak Reddy, you know, time and again, a lot of parties speak about partial prohibition or complete prohibition. I've seen that. But then liquor is a very, very lucrative kind of, you know, the state earns from it. The point is that, you know, but it has very bad cascading effects and it is, you know, wheels within wheels within wheels. Let me also bring to your notice the belt shops. When the campaigning was going on, I did a lot of stories on these belt shops which have become very problematic in Andhra Pradesh. The thing is that Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy was told about it, but apparently authorities, bureaucrats and everyone just decided to turn a blind eye. What is your standpoint on the belt shops, which of course for ladies and gentlemen, belt shops are unauthorized shops, you know, which are closer to an authorized liquor shop in Andhra Pradesh?
You have to be more updated. They have gone to the next level. So what they do is these belt shops, they used to have people deliver them to the house also. So it's gone to the next level. It's not just people going to the shops. And during elections, I was actually a zonal coordinator heading around 35 MLA segments. And I came to know that this nexus has become so strong, all the parties or any candidate has to do is just place an order. They get the thing smuggled from the other states and deliver to whichever point they want. This was the offers they were giving. So that is the level of, I don't know what to call it. You can't say corruption. You can't say, you know, theft. They have reached that level.
All right. And I'm going to take a break now, Deepak Reddy, but I'm coming back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to speak about the liquor scam which is unfolding right now in front of your eyes in Andhra Pradesh. A white paper has been released by Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu. More details on the other side.
इस खेल में अब खेला होगा हर नहले पे दहला होगा टीम बड़ा है स्टेज बड़ा है पूरा भारत साथ खड़ा है साथ खड़ा है गेम बड़ा है dribble like a rap pass 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 setting up the trap kick it hard in the ball Chuck the football. Chuck the football. Chuck the football. Chuck the football.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है Money9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
20,000 people dead and counting. What's happening in the United States of America is unprecedented. You will have to pay for this.
All right, that's the big focus today on this show. The South Indian Chandrababu Naidu alleges 19,000 crore liquor scam by YSRCP. You know, after the budget was presented, everyone said that Andhra Pradesh got a windfall. But I think there is a big task in the hand of the CM, because he has to not only correct the irregularities that have been left allegedly by the erstwhile government, but also see forward as to how he can earn revenue for the state. I have Deepak Reddy with me, national spokesperson for the TDP. I want to bring to your notice yet another. An allegation has been made that popular brands of liquor, it could be beer or other things, were brought down completely, while the sale of local brands, which were never heard of, was suddenly increased. Now, Deepak Reddy, does that mean that there was preference given to local manufacturers on this, and without any quality control, without any checking on standards and practices, Deepak Reddy?
Right, excellent question. Now I'm looking at the statement. Just before the government took charge, in cases of the popular brands, 53.21. It has dropped to 5.25. So basically, all the brands were thrown out, were chased out, because they could not afford to pay the commissions which were asked. And I have details brand wise. And then they started getting in their own brands, which were new brands with their own label, basically. So,
right.
And you know, the quality was another issue which I was telling earlier. So one more thing I would like to bring to your notice. When we actually made a comparative statement between the three neighboring states, okay, Telangana, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. If you see where we started off in 2014, there was a difference of 1,000 to 2,000 crores between the liquor revenue between each of these three states. But by the time Jagan Reddy got out of government, that is the last year, the gap has gone up to almost 10,000 crores.
Okay.
So it is very clear that all this was done in cash. This is another indicator.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So as I told you earlier, Sudha, the cash component, between the manufacturing cost and the sale cost, the tax component is almost 10 times to 11 times.
You know,
so
today,
imagine
Deepak,
how much.
Yeah, sorry to interject, but you know, Deepak, in days where even my vegetable vendor is accepting online payments, even if I buy a lemon for 5 rupees, apparently there were no online payments which were made, and that is the easiest way of fraud, am I right? Where it is all cash transactions.
Love your style, Sudha. You get straight to the point. In fact, when we were in I was in the legislature, we stalled the houses for almost 3 days, insisting that they have to collect UPI, and they didn't bother. In spite of all that, and both the houses of the legislature being stalled, the total revenue which they collected through UPI was 0.062%. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
So I rest my case.
Yes, absolutely. And also, let's come to what you had said before we took a break. It's about the quality, the kind of, illegal hooch which the poor have taken to because they can't afford to buy, the kind of prices, skyrocketing prices of alcohol, also the number of suicides which have increased, also the crime rate which has increased. Of course, people will turn around and tell me that this year and next year crime rate will increase. Sure, I'm not getting into statistics, but I want to know that, when the campaigning was going on, a lot of women in Andhra Pradesh were fed up of the alcoholism of their men, and the families were completely distraught because they lost a lot of lives because of bad liquor or illicit hooch, as it were.
Cooking is an act of law. The first act of law we receive from our mothers in the families.
Modern Indian food is all about contemporary and innovative approach to traditional Indian cooking.
Sorry, Deepak, there was some problem, technical problem. So I'm asking you that don't you think that the crime rate had increased and the suicide rates had also increased because of illicit hooch? I mean, it is, and do you think that the women of the state were particularly angry with the YSRCP because they lost their men and families actually were scattered because of this?
Not just a loss of life, a lot of families have been ruined, because I've seen in the rural areas, what Jagannath Reddy has done is he's increased the price by 4 to 6 fold. So they started getting these illicit liquor, which was spoiling their health. And what was being supplied by them was also of inferior quality, which we have proven it with lab certificates. And we have given to the media also. And the NCRB data has clearly said suicide rate related to the alcohol issue has increased by more than 100% from 2018 to the Jagannath Reddy's government time. And emotional and physical abuse of women by husbands, specifically between the age of 15 to 49, has gone up by 76.4%. The liver cases have gone up by 52. The kidney cases have gone up by 54. All this is NCRB data. And similarly, the details from the GGH Guntur and the Tirupati also, hospitals also clearly say a 1300% increase in such related cases in the hospital. The data is very clear, Sudhaji.
All right. So what is now the forward step? This is what, people call me up and say that you do stories on Andhra Pradesh, because I have been regularly following it, whether it's Rushikonda, whether it's now the liquor scam, the sign manning scam, everything that one has been, because after all, I think more than, I don't care about political parties, I care about the people. The people of Andhra Pradesh need answers, for the way they have suffered. Of course, the big question is also about, the special status. I'm not going to go into that at all, Deepak Reddy, but I'm asking you, where does all this lead, the people, not so much TDP or YSRCP or Janasena Party?
In fact, I need to personally thank you for highlighting all these issues, because we were forgotten for 5 years and the country doesn't know what we went through.
Politicians have never forgotten, Deepak Reddy, never, ever, ever. We live in a country where anyone can bounce back, and it's the people who decide who will come to power. Go ahead.
But the political, terrorism, what we underwent was really traumatic. It was almost like a second battle of independence coming back to power now. Now there is a lot of responsibility. We know what not to do and how bad the things were. So every positive step which is going forward is something as per the aspirations of the people. As far as the liquor policy is concerned, we are going to come out with a total in-depth policy, right from the manufacturing to the consumption, the pricing, the whole thing would be re-examined, and shortly we would be coming out with a policy which is going to be for the larger interest of the people and the society, considering all factors. So we are working on that, Sudhaji.
Important. They are more important than politics because we are a people's nation. Thank you so much, Deepak Reddy, for joining us on the opening debate today on this show. Thank you indeed. And now let's move on to our next story. Allegations of fraud in colleges affiliated to the Anna University in Tamil Nadu. That's coming up next on your screens. All right, that's the second story, and we are asking a question. We are not leveling any allegations. Fraud in Anna University, this is a big one and coming from Tamil Nadu. Chennai-based anti-graft NGO Arappur Iyakam in its findings has said that engineering colleges under Anna University in the state have acquired affiliation by resorting to fraudulent means. Now, let me also add here that considering Anna University is one of the most reputed educational institutions, not only in Tamil Nadu but across India, I am basing my story on a report which has many unanswered questions which surely need to be decoded because the future of students is dependent on this. Now, out of the 480 colleges, according to the report, affiliated to Anna University, a staggering 224 colleges, which is almost 50%, have committed the fraud. The main charge being that during inspections in 23-24, multiple colleges presented the same persons as full-time faculty and allegedly with the knowledge of the university. The NGO found that 353 teachers were presented as full-time faculty in more than one engineering college, and of which 2 professors were presented as full-time faculty in as many as 11 different engineering colleges. Now, what do the rules actually say? As per the All India Council for Technical Education, an inspection committee constituted by the university should verify the faculty members working in each college. Upon completion of the inspection, a standing committee scrutinizes the applications, then based on which affiliation is considered by the Vice Chancellor of the said university. So, imagine if there has to be verification, then how come the same professor was verified twice or even more times on the same date? It's like if I work in 5 different, television channels, how is that possible unless I am, flying off? One can perhaps understand if one professor was teaching in 2 different colleges, let's say at 2 different times, but which are located at least at a considerable distance. Point to ponder. And this brings many issues to the core apart from the fraud committed. Let's debate. Joining me to speak on this is of course Jairam Venkatesan, convener of Arappur Iyakam from Tamil Nadu. He is joining us on the phone line. There seems to be some kind of a technical glitch, but I am sure we will solve it in a bit. It is his NGO which has actually filed this report. Jairam, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you, Jairam. It's such a pity that I can't see you after so many years. I think I need to see you, and I hope that I can see you very soon. Tell me something. This fraud which has happened, I'm only bothered about the students, about how much will it impact the students. Does it mean that if I am shown to be working in 13 different engineering colleges, there you are, hi Jairam, good to see you, in 13 different engineering colleges, does that mean that maybe only one college has me, the others don't have anyone?
Yeah, see, this fraud seems to have happened on a very large scale, particularly given that Anna University affiliated colleges are a total of around 430 odd in terms of engineering. Out of 224 colleges, we have found that if there is a professor who is enrolled in one college, he or she, 353 of them are also shown as full-time faculty in other colleges. In fact, the number of colleges in which these professors are enrolled as full-time faculty members ranges from anywhere between 2 to 11. So there is a person called Dr. Marisamy who is on the full-time faculty payroll shown in 11 colleges. But actually, of course, he can't be there in 11 colleges. So what it means is he must be working only in one college, and in 10 other colleges, he or she is basically shown as though they are working there just to get the affiliation process done from Anna University. So when the inspection team goes there, they make people, they come from different places, so from different other colleges who are working to that college, and show as though they have enough faculty strength. And enough faculty strength, so we all know that the number of students who, admissions or approval is allowed is dependent on the number of faculty members, number of PhDs that they have and all that. So to just show that they have a lot of PhDs, lot of MEs and so on, they show, artificially that these people are working in their...
Jairam, I also want to talk about the inspection committee, because if they come to inspect and take all my details, are they taking my details 5 times in a day? I mean, this is bizarre. Taking a break right now, Jairam Venkatesan. But when I come back, we shall keep this debate on. Has there been a big fraud in Anna University? See you on the other side.
Very warm welcome to News9 Kargil Honours 2024. This event is a commemoration of the 25th anniversary of the Kargil War.
Back home, I believe India, being a predominantly young nation, must imbibe the Kargil heroes' spirit of patriotism. Today, the young are restless and often tend to be indifferent. To my mind, India's contemporary war heroes are the true inspiration for them.
Today's event is a recognition of their services and is being conferred by the citizens of India, I would say, the informed citizens. And that makes this particular event very, very special. The creation of this post of CDS was one of the recommendations of the committee that reviewed the war.
This is News9 Live, India's only digital exclusive live stream. For the early adopters, bringing you the news 24/7. For the smart audiences on the smartest TVs. News9 Live. Stream now on your smart TVs.
How do you fulfill that promise? Because ultimately expectations have to be met. If you look at the political landscape, is it really changing for women? And what is the inability of the forces that dead bodies surface but not the living people?
Has there been a fraud in one of the most reputed universities in Tamil Nadu and in the entire country? That's what we are talking about. We're talking about Anna University. Jairam Venkatesan, who's the convener of Arappur Iyakkam, the NGO which actually has done this report about this fraud in Tamil Nadu, has joined us. Jairam, I want to ask you what I asked you before I took a break, that you say that an inspection is done which leads to the affiliation of a particular university. We're talking about the engineering colleges under Anna University. Now the inspection teams will inspect me, take my personal details like PAN, whatever, I mean Aadhaar, etc., etc. How is it that they take the details or duplicate the details for, let's say, 5 times over? So is there a clear collusion, as it were? Jairam.
Yes, this could not have happened without a collusion. In fact, what we have also done is we have got information about the date of inspection through RTI. And what we have found out is that on the same day, the Anna University inspection team goes to 2 colleges, one in Chengalpet, one in Coimbatore, one in Vellore, things like that.
God.
But
Okay.
they have said that in both the colleges, the same professor is present. And therefore, this is absolutely not possible without the collusion of Anna University's inspection team. So therefore, what we are very clearly seeing is that not only that this collusion is happening amongst colleges and their professors, but also with the inspection team of the Anna University.
But tell me,
And-
Jairam, I want to ask you one. It's really very bizarre and intriguing. Just because the university wants to show that it has so many PhDs, so many MPhils, etc., they are doing this duplication of professors. But what about my picture? It's there on Aadhaar card, right? It's the same picture.
In fact, the way we have found this entire fraud is from the data of the Anna University itself. That photo is there for the same person at different colleges. So even if they had compared the photos, they would have known. See, it is very simple. If you and I are part of the inspection team, I'm sure the first thing that we will go and ask in the college when we see a professor is that, or to the college management is that, show me the salary certificate or the PF deposit proof that you have made for this professor or assistant professor. So this is common sense. If they had asked for that, they would have very clearly known that these people are not even working in that college. Even if they had been asked to come and, they stood like a parade on that day, if they had asked for the salary certificate of PF, they would have known. Or if they had compared the photo, compared the date of birth, or the AICTU faculty ID, which is a unique ID, they would have known. So there are several people who have entered fake AICTE faculty IDs, and they are saying that they have not noticed until date. After we have released, now the Vice Chancellor says now they have found that in 211 professors have they have found that they have enrolled as 2,500 people in this year. So in this year, this duplication has in fact increased, is what they are now claiming.
Yeah, sure. So I'm thinking of a parent like I am, that I buy the prospectus of Anna University and it says we have 2,000 professors for engineering courses, and my child goes to study there. It's a complete fraud because there are not so many professors. I'm asking you, which means it's a very sad thing, Jairam. It also points towards one thing, and that being that these colleges are very, very understaffed.
Definitely, and it directly affects the quality of education of children. See, today parents and children go to engineering colleges. They, based on this affiliation to Anna University, they see this as a very prestigious thing. They know that if a college is affiliated to Anna University, then they expect that college to have the minimum lab facilities and the minimum number of qualified professors. And this is a complete breach of that trust that parents and students of Tamil Nadu have on this university, number one. Number two, AICTE accreditation is also taken very, very seriously. AICTE is supposed to, send their inspection teams to 5% of the colleges every year. And they have also not found this massive scam that has happened. So that is why we are saying that it's not only the colleges as well as the professors, but also the inspection teams of the Anna University and the AICTE inspection teams, that also needs to be investigated. Why they have not found this, or they have played hand in glove with this kind of malified corruption that has happened.
Sorry, but what really surprises me is that how come the students have not highlighted this? How come those students who've paid through their nose and come from several districts in Tamil Nadu and maybe from across the country have not spoken about it? Why are they quiet? What is it that is stopping them? By saying that this professor, after all, I'm telling you, we live in the world of social media. The world has shrunk so much. If I'm studying in Coimbatore and you are studying in, let's say, Pudukkottai, we can always message each other and say, hey, do you have a professor called X there? Why is it? I just find it bizarre that unless they are under duress, the students have kept quiet. Why?
See, it is primarily because they are definitely under threat. The moment they raise their voice, they are afraid that either their marks will get cut or something like that. And in spite of it, in some of the colleges, certain protests have happened. In fact, even recently there was a protest that happened in the southern part of Tamil Nadu against a college. So therefore, there are these things happening here and there, saying that there is not enough facility and so on. But overall, unless we have clear data on it, it is not being taken seriously. And today we have very clear data showing this kind of a huge scam that has happened. And the question is, at least now, will accountability be fixed? Because if this should not happen in the future, then accountability should be fixed. We need to understand that only in Anna University we have been able to find this, because Anna University puts up this data online. So we were able to compare. Now there are these entire medical colleges, other colleges who don't even put their data online. So we can't even find out. And I'm getting a lot of complaints from other kinds of colleges as well, like medical colleges. But unfortunately, we are not able to verify it unless we have proper data. So this is just the tip of the iceberg what we have found. I'm sure that this extends to many other streams in the state as well as to many other states in the country as well.
All right, and on that note, thank you so much, Jairam Venkatesan, for joining us on this broadcast. It's really sad, like I said, one of the most reputed universities, that is Anna University, is allegedly under the scanner by an NGO which has submitted a report for a potential fraud in getting affiliation. Let's move on. The other big story in the South Indian Kerala High Court stays the release of the Justice Hema Committee report. That's coming up on your screens now. This is a story, big blow to women. Hema Committee report has been stayed. It's a story which is about women, but more importantly, it's about the men. It's a story which shook the conscience of a so-called gender-equal state like Kerala, a state which is lauded for its cinema and actors cinema by Adur Gopalakrishnan and G. Aravindan. In what can be termed as a major disappointment, just hours before the report of the Justice Hema Committee was to be released, the Kerala High Court put a stay on it. The report, which deals with issues of sexual harassment and gender inequality in Malayalam film industry, has now been put on a stay for at least a week. There is a lid on it and it was awaited, please believe me, by several women of the WCC as well as AMMA. This after the High Court upheld the plea challenging the report's disclosure filed by Malayalam film producer Sajimon Parayil. Sajimon argued that the disclosure of the report could adversely affect the film industry and breach confidentiality and damage reputations and livelihoods of those working in the industry. He's got to be serious. He's talking about reputation. There is none. This report will show what kind of reputation they have. What about the reputation of that young woman who was violated in a driving car? The Justice Hema Committee was constituted in 2017 in the aftermath of a case of sexual assault in February of that year. An actress who had worked in the Tamil and Malayalam film industry was abducted by a group of men who forcefully entered her car, and she was then assaulted inside the car. Several videos, I remember, were made on this and of course, circulated the helplessness of the woman. The accused also filmed the whole incident, like I said, and not just to give it to others, but also to blackmail the survivor. I refuse to call her the victim. A total of 10 people were named accused in the case, with actor Dileep being named as accused number 8. Dileep, however, was later released on bail and the case is of course pending in the court. Dileep, of course, went to town putting media gags on how people are sullying his reputation, etc., etc. But it's neither here nor there. The committee was formed by the Kerala government after substantial pressure from the Women in Cinema Collective, or WCC. The committee submitted its report to the state government in December of 2019. But it has not been released by the State Information Commission despite several requests under Right to Information Act. Finally, on 5th of July this year, the SIC allowed the disclosure of the report after redaction of certain points, but once again, the disclosure of the report has been halted. The WCC has said that it is not at all surprised by this day, since resistance to the report has been a regular pattern in the industry, because it could be Kerala, but it's still, the industry is heavily misogynistic and extremely patriarchal. Make no mistake about that. Let's now move on. BJP leaders in Karnataka staged a day and night protest in the Vidhana Sauda, demanding discussion on the MUDA scam. That's coming up next on the show. That's the story, MUDA scam, BJP's day and night vigil in the assembly. BJP MLAs held a day and night protest inside the Karnataka assembly. They demanded a debate on the alleged Mysore Urban Development Authority scam, MUDA scam, and are calling for the resignation of Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, who they claim is involved in the scandal. Of course, there is talk about Siddaramaiah's wife allegedly being involved in this entire scam. The BJP has branded the Karnataka Chief Minister as the father of the MUDA scam and said that this is complete wrongdoing and he should quit. But will this hold? Mohammad Wajiullah, my colleague, has all the details. Let's go across to him. Waji, hi. The question, does it hold? That's the question. That's what everyone wants to know. Where does the BJP go from here? Fine, you stayed there, you slept there, etc., etc. We have visuals of that, if we can play that. But you know, what happens after this?
So that's it's going to be a very interesting weekend, or the next week, because the BJP has now decided to take a Padyatra because they felt that their voice has not been heard in the assembly, and their motion to hear the MUDA scam was not agreed by the speaker. So they have now decided to do a Padyatra from Bangalore to Mysore to highlight that this is a big scam where the Chief Minister is in the center of it. Now, what we also understand is the Congress is also planning a counter Padyatra, which is going to start from Mysore to Bangalore to highlight the corruption cases of the BJP in the previous regime. Now, when it comes to the MUDA scam, what we've learned today is that the Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Kumar has also gone on to say that we will release the list of the allottees in the MUDA scam that had happened in the BJP regime, where Siddaramaiah also claims that the BJP who had given him the site. Now, D.K. Kumar says that the reason we'll be releasing that list in the coming days is to expose the BJP itself. Now, the coming few days will become very interesting with regards to the entire MUDA scam. Right now, also, as we speak, in the parliament, debate was going on. The BJP had cornered the government at the well and they were demanding for a discussion, while the speaker continues to say that the motion should have been put forward way before. At the last minute, why was this done for the 8 minutes? And he believes, and the law minister also has gone on to say that this has been done for political mileage. So it's getting murkier and murkier. But as what stands right now is that it's an allegation versus allegation, and it remains to be seen who comes out of it.
All right, because you know, the thing is that once this broke out, it unfolded, the MUDA scam. Of course, Siddaramaiah has been defending himself and he's given details about how the land was given by Mallika Arjuna, that is his wife Parvati's brother, etc., etc., that he was, although he was very much in the know, is what the reports tell us. I want to ask you, he formed a committee. The BJP somehow is not satisfied, and it seems more like a political kind of a gimmick to do this rather than anything coming out of it, because there is a committee which is already in place, Wajiullah.
Well, yes, that is what the opposition, the present government is also saying, that a one judge committee has been set into place and they are looking into the matter. But for the BJP, again, this is an issue that they want to put forward, and they believe by talking about it again and again and pressing it will highlight the fact, and that is what the opposition duty is, and that's what they are doing in somewhere or the other. If we look at it from the outsider's perspective, opposition is doing opposition job. But after you've got a notice from the government saying that yes, a committee has been set up, it is incumbent for the opposition also to understand that the priorities of the assembly should be taken into consideration. There are bills that have to be spoken about, the health bill and the other bill. So discussion on the other bills also should happen. But then again, the opposition is hell-bent on the discussion of MUDA and the Valmiki scam, and they believe that this is how they can corner the government with regards to corruption, as they had cornered them when Chief Minister Bommai was there as the Chief Minister, they had started the pay scheme. So they believe that the Chief Minister is involved in this and they want to pin the Chief Minister. That's why they've called Siddaramaiah as the father of the MUDA scam. So you clearly get an idea how the opposition is hell-bent in pitching this forward as a very big scam. Now, how much of the scam comes out of this one-person committee is something that we'll only know after it comes up. But the BJP believes that it should go to a CBI inquiry. Because we heard R. Ashok saying that it's a 3,000 crore scam, and then we heard C.D. Ravi also giving a bite saying that it is a 4,000 crore scam.
Okay.
So first we need to find out whether it's a scam or not, and that will only come out after this report comes out from this one person.
And on that note, Mohammad Wajihullah, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed on what is really unfolding in Karnataka. And like my colleague said, it may snowball into something huge in the coming days. All right then, as promised, I'll leave you with some of the other top headlines from the south of India. Namaskara.
Who am I?
Nobody can crack that mystery.
There is a certain expectation of me.
That's the only contradiction.
Life itself is stranger than fiction.
I was a